interpret and report trial data. It really starts with innovative clinical trial design and implementation. It's important to have a really high-quality protocol so that the answers you're getting are very reliable and you can depend on the results, and the whole company can make go-no-go decisions based on your study. One of my favorite parts of the job is the overall clinical development for the compound. So what I do is I lead matrix teams, which is comprised of the pharmaceutical sciences group, toxicology, regulatory, statistics, FlinPharm, and we design what studies we're going to do first in the clinic. When we have a compound that just looks very good preclinically and has all of its toxicology screens, then we decide to take it into the clinic. And my job is to decide what study we do first. Is it going to be in patients or healthy volunteers? What will the biomarkers be? What will the doses be? How high will we dose? What are we looking to get out of the trial? And then another big part of this is the translational biomarker plan. So what I really like about my job is I see backwards into the preclinical phase and I see forward into the clinical phase. So I'm trying to determine, get involved in project teams when there's clinical phase, and I decide what step is very useful. I think the best biomarker for this compound will be X, Y, or Z. That compound or that biomarker could have or could not have been validated in the clinic before. And if it is, it's much easier to write a protocol and a plan and design go-no-go criteria. But if it's a particular very novel mechanism with biomarkers that are much more complicated, that aren't potentially circulating biomarkers, other issues, you get to work with the preclinical teams and help them design their studies so that you have some guidance for the clinical plan as well. So it's a very important part of the job. A lot of this job is writing protocols, clinical study reports, investigator brochures, investigational new drug applications, which is where you go into the clinic for the first time and you give the evidence that you have that it's safe to go into the clinic and what you intend to do, and publications. Nowadays, industry is encouraging publications more and more to get the word out there about their science and to get the community excited, so that's been really fun. So just briefly to see how I got here, I did get my PhD at Vanderbilt in the Sherrington lab, and what I loved about that lab was it was integrated physiology, so I was studying the whole animal and the whole disease state. I'm not very molecularly oriented, but that's what the ICP was really nice because I do at least understand that language now. I can talk to scientists who are molecular oriented. At the end of my PhD, Ellen really encouraged me to think about what I want to do for my career, where I want to go long term. And so as much as I loved the whole animal work that I did in his lab, I realized that I'd like to be even closer to drug development and making medicines for people. So I knew that I wanted to go into clinical research, and I also knew I wanted to go into a pharma company because I wanted to really make a difference and really be close to the patients. So considering that, I did a postdoc in the Davis lab at Vanderbilt also, where I got to do glycemic clamps in humans. It was very similar to what I was doing in the dog, but it was applying it to humans instead. And I think what was very beneficial about that postdoc was glucose clamps are sort of the gold standard in diabetes. And so there aren't very many people who've done them and can do them well, and to have that background I think was very helpful and instrumental in helping me get my next position. Vanderbilt actually has a really cool program called Masters in Clinical Investigation. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here at Vanderbilt right now. While I was getting my postdoc, I took this master's class. And this master's course is really unique because it's primarily for MDs and PhDs who want to do clinical research. And what it is it's a few classes, but the majority of it is doing your postdoc and doing your research. And so it sort of fits together very nicely. And I learned all about the different phases of drug development in this course. I learned biostatistics, epidemiology, grant writing, which isn't applicable now for me, but very useful for the rest of those in the class. And this class is actually very well known. When I was in the program, there were some people from DMS who CMS would pay for them to come down and learn about clinical trial investigation. So I think it really was a bonus. Especially getting a PhD, trying to get into a very MD-centric world, it was very nice to have a little extra set of credentials and really prove that I was determined to do clinical research. So after that, I was looking for a job, and I did what career advisors would probably tell you never to do. I started cold calling people. What I did was I did internet searches for diabetes and clinical and Pfizer, and diabetes and clinical and Merck, diabetes and clinical. I pulled up all the papers I could find. I got the names of the corresponding authors, and I started emailing them my CV, my career goals. I got a call one day from someone at Pfizer saying, I wasn't going to contact you because you don't have any pharma experience and you're very green, but I got your resume from 11 different people, so I figured you better call. So it paid off. The reason I chose Pfizer was I did go to several different companies. I interviewed at Merck and DMS, and Pfizer really has a good career path for a PhD in clinical research. They also have PharmDs and MDs as well in clinical research. Some of the other companies I interviewed at, one of the companies told me that they've never had a PhD doing clinical research, so maybe I could label some juice for them or something. So I think Pfizer was very progressive, and I liked that about it, and they were a very good fit. When I was there the first few years, I was a clinical research scientist, where I mostly designed the protocols and analyzed the data and wrote the studies. And in the last few years, I was promoted to clinical lead, where I was in charge of the entire program, start to finish, what we were doing in the clinic. And just one more comment is I went into phase 1 to phase 2 research. And what this is where a compound is first developed and first goes into the clinic up until it reaches proof of concept, and you know that it works the way it's supposed to. After that, you sort of hand it over to the phase 3 guys who do the large-scale clinical trials. And when I was initially looking for positions, I really wanted to get the large phase 3 experience. I thought that'll be so fun to have multiple countries and do these very large trials. But I kept getting positions for phase 1 and 2, and I realized it's because with a PhD, that's actually an area that you're very well suited for because you're very close to the preclinical group, you get to work directly with them, and the more I've done phase 1 and phase 2, it's actually the most exciting part because that's where you really get to test your mechanism. You get to design interesting studies, you get to do methodology studies, and it really is so exciting because things can change from one day to the next. You know, a publication will come out that requires you to revamp your whole strategy, or you'll get new toxicology data that requires a major change to your plan. So it has been very, very interesting. Last year, I left Pfizer and I went to Stantec Pharma. It's a small biotech in North Carolina. And so I can compare and contrast big pharma with small biotech if you want later. They are very different. But I'm really enjoying my time at Stantec. I am leading the diabetes group and ultimately responsible for all of our diabetes compounds, making it through the clinic and then trying to partner when we get further along. So it's been a very good experience and I've learned a lot there. And I just had a little bit of advice to close with. The first one is to be persistent because you know, if you keep looking for things and keep your name out there, you will get stuff. I know today's job market can be a little intimidating, but all it takes is persistence, I think. Take on new challenges. Anything new you can do to broaden your horizons and enhance your career is very useful. And then the last one, be yourself. We've heard from other speakers that it's really important to capitalize on your strengths, and I can't emphasize that enough. When I first joined Pfizer, I very much was an introvert, very quiet, and I kept getting told, you need to speak out more, you need to make your teams know, you need to tell everyone what the skill is and make sure to do it. And so I tried to do that, and it wasn't me. It wasn't comfortable. It did help me grow a little bit. I learned to be more outgoing and get along better in the corporate world. But a year after that, there was a big reorganization, and the qualities that management hadn't appreciated in my personality initially, the new management did. So you can't please everyone, and you can't change to try and fit into a corporate mold. You have to just capitalize on your particular strengths and your team building and the way you like to run things. So that's all. Peace. All right, well, good morning, everyone. It's certainly just really exciting for me to be back. It feels like I really just left Vanderbilt. I remember sitting in my hall and doing my first set of IGT lectures and doing many finding and picking out many lunches. So I went to a wide variety of very interesting talks and looked for those that had the best lunch. But it also gave me an opportunity to learn a lot more about different topics. So I remember very fondly the life of the graduate student, finding lunches and receptions all over campus so that I could be able to eat on my graduate school stipend. But it's really exciting to be back here to share with you all. I remember it really feels like it was just yesterday that I was sitting in your seat looking at all of these people that, found these careers and feeling like they had this grand plan to be these things and, uncover these careers. And now that I'm standing here in front of you, I can surely tell you that it's not as easy as it looks like, especially when I can only tell you about it in one slide. It really is a journey, and it's a journey of discovery, a journey of trial and error, a journey of successes and failures. But eventually, you do find your way and find the way that you can be successful. And as the speaker said before, you find your strength and utilize your strength. So my career is in clinical microbiology. When I finished my PhD here at Vanderbilt in the Department of Microbiology and Immunology, I sought out this career in clinical microbiology and did a fellowship program through the American Society of Microbiology. They're called CPET programs. They're 2-year fellowship programs in clinical microbiology and medical public health. And so I really enjoyed that career, and then I realized that I needed to kind of tell you a little bit more about it. So we've all seen these memes, on Facebook and that kind of thing, and I thought this would be the quickest, easiest way to explain to you what I do, because all of these are kind of a little bit of a combination of that. So clinical microbiology, what my friends think I do, they think I'm hanging out with Dr. Hoffman, Renee Russo, and Elizabeth Jr. looking at Ebola virus. I have actually received an email from somebody asking me if I could send them a little bit of Ebola virus on a menu that I'm not just in no fly list. But my friends think I'm hanging out, at the Salesforce lab and stop getting invitations to dinners and parties. I was trying to figure out what was going on, but as a clinical microbiologist, I really am, honestly on the front line, not this close to the outbreak, but really you're on the front line of any type of infectious disease outbreak or syndrome that happen here. We're the lab that all of the specimens will come to. So everything from a throat swab for somebody who has strep throat to diagnosis of HIV, diagnosis of viral, fungal, parasitic infections, we get all of those specimens into our laboratory, and we're responsible for the diagnosis. So anytime there is an outbreak, it's often the microbiology lab that are among the first to identify that and then to communicate that to our partners in public health at our state public health lab and the CDC. Sometimes it's something that's very big and emergent. You guys remember the swine flu of 2009, the 2009 H1N1 influenza virus. Microbiology labs had to work very quickly to develop diagnostic tests to be able to test all of those people that came in. We had to identify are there resistance markers for antiviral therapies that we need to be able to test for and aid our clinician friends in making those type of diagnoses. So that's what I do when it comes to outbreaks. Not as close as Dr. Hoffman was. I will not get the cuts in the suit, and I hope never to be infected. Of course, that's the first rule of infectious disease is don't become infected yourself. So I try to stay a little bit farther away than that, but I am in very close contact with my clinician colleagues, and that's what my parents think I do. My sister describes my job to everybody she talks to as I'm basically like house, which I really think I'm a little bit nicer than that. And some people that remind me a bit of him, but I hope it's not me. But my friends and my parents think that I'm part of House's team, and we're going and making these amazing diagnoses. It's a little bit like that, though. I'm in very close contact with clinician colleagues, infectious disease physicians, critical care physicians, pharmacists, and we work together in aiding with the diagnosis as well as understanding what therapy will be best for a patient. I often get phone calls from a clinician that says, I've got a patient who has these symptoms and has been to this country, has lived in this region, and I have no idea what this patient has. Can you help me? Do you have any idea? Because the clinician understands very well the symptoms that fewer things that I have to learn and understand and work on for my board exam that I have to take. They come to me for those type of questions. And so that's really my role when it comes to clinicians. I'm there to aid and assist when it comes to infectious disease diagnosis and potential therapy, what we can do to help the patient. I also work with clinicians on the hospital infection control side, so looking at things like MRSA, as well as other emerging resistance patterns that we're seeing in hospitals that can cause widespread outbreaks in hospitals, working to develop tests that can help to control that. I work with my pharmacy colleagues and helping to make sure that the antibiotics that they use them in a very restrictive manner. We don't want to use, the largest scale antibiotics for a very small infection. We want to refine the use of antibiotics so that we reserve the very broad spectrum antibiotics for the most severe infections. And that's called antimicrobial stewardship. So I work with the teams, I work with hospital administration, and to be able to produce policy and protocols that aid in the use of antimicrobial therapy. So clinicians think I do, when I'm not helping them, they think I'm reading their minds. They think that I have a crystal ball and that I can take the most minute
Yeah.